I'm Seonkyoung guest. Welcome to Asian at Home. And today I'm making steamed bun with savory pork filling that I had in Japan called Butaman. Well, in Japan they actually call this dish nikuman, but the one I had, they call Butaman. So I'm gonna call it Butaman. So right now I'm kneading the dough, and this is actually the last stage of making dough. And this dough is so easy to make. And I got this dough recipe from kitchme.com, and I hate to admit this, but this recipe is actually better than my original steamed bun dough. So I'm just gonna use it. And so far this dough is the best for steamed bun. So I wanted to share with you guys, and this is how I made it. In a standard mixer, combine 1 tablespoon of dry active yeast, 1 teaspoon of sugar, 1/4 cup of all-purpose flour, and 1/4 cup of warm water. Mix well and let it stand for 30 minutes. Now add 1½ cup of all-purpose flour, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 2 tablespoons of sugar, and 1/2 cup of warm water. Knead the dough on low speed until it becomes one elastic soft dough. Obviously you can do this part just in the mixing bowl with your hand. I just like using the standard mixer because it's easy. That's why. Take the dough out. Honestly, I forgot to add 1 tablespoon of oil into the dough, so I'm just adding it now because I have to knead the dough later again, so it will be all fine. Let the dough rise for 3 hours. Yes, 3 hours. Not 2 hours, not 1 hour. You have to let it sit for 3 hours for this amazingly nice and fluffy dough. Be patient and it will pay off. After 3 hours, the dough is really nice and big and airy. So take out to a working surface where you sprinkled some extra all-purpose flour, 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder. And knead the dough until the baking powder is completely distributed into the dough. Alright, my dough looking good, super elastic. It's really moist but not sticky. This is what you want. And now I'm going to divide them into 8 pieces. So cut in half, and then the half into 8 pieces. And yes, this bun is gonna be really nice and big as I had in Japan. I'm so excited. Okay, I'm just rolling the dough into circle shape and place on a parchment paper lined baking sheet. Okay, let's cover these little cutie doughs with damp towel, and we are gonna let them rest for about 30 minutes. And meanwhile, we are gonna make the filling. Seriously, this filling is one of the best. It's so good. So the first thing we need to do is cut up some onion. We will need 1/2 of onion, just small dice. Lots of onion is the key for this filling, because when I had this in Kobe, Japan, the sweet flavor, the natural sweetness from onion was the bomb. It's so good. I'm gonna chop a clove of garlic, just chop them, and 1/2 of a large leek or 1 medium to small leek. Just only white to light green part. Chop them into same size as onion. You noticed I'm using leek like crazy in this Japanese cuisine because that natural sweetness from the leek is really important in all the recipes I'm sharing with you guys. Instead of using a bunch of sugar to sweeten up, this leek is like best option I found while I was doing recipe testing. So good. Okay, I'm gonna set aside the leek right here. And that's all the vegetable we will need for the filling. So in a mixing bowl, add all this leek, onion, and garlic. And 4 ounces of ground pork. I know it looks really tiny bit, but trust me, this is more than enough. And let's season the filling with a tablespoon of soy sauce. I love the savory and saltiness coming from the soy sauce. It's so beautiful. And a teaspoon of sake, just a little splash, like that. And half tablespoon of sugar, a little pinch of salt, and lots of black pepper. This is good to go. Now I'm gonna mix all together with a spoon. If you want like a little more fragrance, then go ahead and add some sesame oil in here. But I found for my personal taste, I like without sesame oil. This looks so good. This is actually a great project to do it with your family or friends getting together. You just make the dough ahead and make the filling together, shape the bun together while it's steaming, have some wine or tea or whatever you want to have. Good time, good time. All right, let's shape the Butaman. Just grab one dough at a time onto all-purpose flour sprinkled work surface, and just roll them into about your palm size, and trying to just roll a little more the outside than the middle, because the outer part we're gonna shape it all together, so they're gonna club all together, so they're gonna be like really fluffy and nice already. And what we want to make sure is the bottom part is really nice and thick and fluffy. That's why, just like this, put the filling as much as possible. Almost like a little too much filling. Because we can stretch this dough out like a jeggings. We can stretch this dough out so we can stuff as much as possible. Okay, now if you're right-handed like me, with the left thumb, just hold the filling like this lightly and start to shape the dough with your right side fingers. Just like this. Stretch and fold it, and while you're doing so, with the left thumb, just keep pushing the filling into the dough like this. Perfect. Ta-ta! Place on your steamer, and I lined my steamer with the parchment paper because this thing that I got from Asian market right here, this thing right here, I paid $4, $3.99. It doesn't work. I tried it with this one. My buns are all sticked to the bottom. So throw that away. Do not buy that, okay? So anyway, let's move on to keep shaping the Butaman. This one is good to go. I'm actually let them rest about 15 minutes before I steam. So while it's resting, I'm gonna keep working with the rest of the ingredients. When you're ready, steam the Butaman in a steamer over boiling water for 15 minutes. Make sure the water is not touching the steamer though. I use my wok and bamboo steamer.
Steamed bun.
Steamed bun.
Oh, so good. Makes me happy.
The bun is so fluffy. The filling has really nice texture from the onion, the leek, and the pork and everything.
Like you can put a lot more meat in it, but it's actually better like this, I think. It almost reminds me like a cheese stick with a lot of onion. But it's pork, and it's not all onions. It's got leeks too, but it's just like, it's kind of what it reminds me of.
Because if you put too much pork, the filling will just like collapse as just one big chunk.
meat.
One more.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, so good.
You want just a little bit of sriracha on it if you want some spice. Good
I
idea.
try. Actually, in Japan, they gave me with this Asian mustard. It's so good with the Asian mustard. If you liked my Butaman, the Japanese style savory pork filled steamed bun, please give me a thumbs up. And subscribe my channel for more inspirations and idea of Asian home cooking. Thank you so much for watching us today. And remember, you can always cook Asian food at your house, making it easy and fun. I'm Seonkyoung Longast, Jacob Longast, my husband. And this is Asian at Home. Asian at Home. Get some of my merch, guys. Get my merch. Link down below. And we will see you next time. Bye. Mwah.